Terence Crawford vs Canelo Alvarez is officially set to be the biggest boxing showdown of September 2025, and now, Floyd Mayweather has entered the scene with a bold warning that could change everything. After months of rumors, drama, and pure chaos, Turki Alshik has finally confirmed the mega fight, Canelo vs Crawford, is happening. And it's going down at none other than Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, the perfect stage for a clash of this magnitude. But if you thought this was going to be a respectful, sportsmanlike battle, think again. Tensions between these two fighters have been boiling over, and things reached a breaking point at a Saudi airport, where the bad blood became impossible.
Is this? Yesterday they text me. They text me and say, we can talk about the fight in February with Crawford. Yeah. They text me yesterday, and I say, look, I'm not gonna talk about any other fight. I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position if he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like,
It's not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants to work with me.
The two undisputed champions were supposed to meet with Turki Alshik to finalize details for their September bout. But before they even made it to the meeting, things went south fast. At the airport, tension exploded. When Canelo Alvarez crossed paths with Terence Crawford, he didn't offer a handshake. No eye contact. No words. Crawford, ever the professional, tried to greet him, but Canelo walked straight past, like he didn't exist. Now, if you know Terence Bud Crawford, you know that kind of disrespect doesn't go unanswered. He fights with pride, and if you cross that line, you better be ready to deal with the consequences. So Crawford didn't flinch. He walked right up to Canelo, clearly ready to confront the situation. But instead of diffusing the tension, Canelo escalated it immediately, stepping into Crawford's face, fists clenched, like he was ready to throw down right there in the terminal. At that point, both teams had to intervene. Security rushed over to separate them, preventing what could have been an all-out brawl.
I think that's weird, because you'd have to gain 20 pounds? Yeah. But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight, that's the money fight, that's the only thing that makes sense with Terence Crawford.
Well, catch weight. You can do something at a catch weight.
What weight you think?
I like 160.
So you said 154 is the highest you want to go.
Yeah, 158. 60 average.
Word on the street is Floyd's even been helping Bud improve his skills for the big fight, giving him that undefeated champion level game plan.
Hold me back.
Mayweather has been working behind the scenes with Terence Bud Crawford, helping him sharpen his skills for the biggest fight of his career, handing him the kind of game.
You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? You know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boss. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought fantasy fight me versus Floyd.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
Yeah, I ain't never.
When the airport incident made headlines, Floyd Mayweather was one of the first to speak up, and he didn't hold back. The media was already buzzing, but Floyd made one thing crystal clear. Even though Terence Crawford is no rookie, he has to take Canelo Alvarez more seriously than anyone he's ever faced. And coming from Mayweather, the only man to hand Canelo his official loss, that's not just advice. That's a serious...
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know?
Floyd Mayweather isn't sugarcoating anything. He's sending Terence Crawford an urgent warning. This isn't just another fight. This is legacy defining. This is dangerous. Floyd's been through wars, and he knows what it takes at this level. He's telling Crawford straight up. You're great, but this is Canelo. One mistake, and it's game over. And honestly, Mayweather might have a point. He didn't hold back on social media either, posting, "Terence is a great fighter. But you don't just move up 2 weight classes and fight Canelo unless you know exactly what you're doing. This sport is about smart moves, not just big ones." In Floyd's eyes, this is
looking great. Thank you. I will come to looking great. Thank you. I will come to.
But here's where things take a sharp turn. After snubbing Terence Crawford at the airport, Canelo Alvarez reportedly told his team he's not giving Crawford any respect until they step into the ring. In his eyes, Crawford is just another challenger, someone beneath him. And if you thought the beef was intense before, now personally.
What I think should be gone, the notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jamel Charlo already proved that. Y'all remember that scene from Rocky? Remember that scene from Rocky 2? When Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed and his trainer was like, "Can I be honest? I saw you beat this man within an inch of his life." And he kept coming. He wouldn't go away. He's wrong for us, baby. He's wrong. Let it go. Apollo couldn't do it and lost fight number 2. Trained him for fight Rocky 3 and then got killed in Rocky 4 by Drago because he couldn't let it go. Bud Crawford needs to let it go. Too small.
Interview 6. By the time both fighters arrived at Dekhiye Alashik's residence to finalize the fight details, the tension was palpable. Turkey, ever the calculated businessman, had to step in and play referee. Photos surfaced of him standing between the 2 champions, posing for what were supposed to be professional press shots. But if you look closely, neither man was smiling. Neither looked relaxed. The energy in that room said it all. This isn't just business anymore, it's war. With September officially locked in for the fight, the rivalry has reached a boiling point. Crawford is
Crawford saying you want to move up to 68 and fight the winner of Canelo Alvarez at 68.
I commend them for it. It takes a lot of balls to do it. A lot of courage, but it also takes, more importantly, it takes believing in yourself. So I commend Crawford for it.
Off with Terence Crawford, he's got business to handle. On May 3rd, Canelo is set to face William Spell in a bid to reclaim his undisputed super middleweight crown. Some fans are calling it a tune-up, a strategic warm-up before the real war in September. But here's the truth, if Canelo walks into the Crawford fight holding all 4 titles at
once, go down anymore. But like he say, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say it's too small, and then, he need to enjoy his fight. Okay, he deserve it. He deserve it. I like Spence, but I like Spence and all the respect for him and everything. But I knew. I think is the type of fight Terence Crawford is different. 168, but like I say, like he say, nobody's gonna give me credit for that.
But there's a massive challenge looming in this story, and it's not just Canelo. The elephant in the room? The weight. Terence Crawford has never fought at 168 pounds. This is a huge jump, a 14-pound leap from his last division. Naturally, there are concerns. Is Baad biting off more than he can chew? But here's what people...
About 17, 18 at the time, when Floyd Mayweather fought Arturo Gatti. I'm just curious, did you watch that fight?
Of course. I still watch it.
Right, because it was that kind of... Because I'm asking because when you fought Ndongo at 140, you looked really great that night too. Same weight class Floyd as that we fought Gotti. Right. I'm not asking hypothetical who would win, but do you think that night you were right there with Floyd on the night he fought Gotti?
Of course. I'm always thinking that I'm on a higher level than a lot of people give me credit. It's just me with the confidence that I have in myself.
Being that he was the previous pound for pound king before you, does he get a little more attention than other great fighters from you when it came to studying him on the way up?
Of course.
What'd you take from him?
It was my era. You know, the whole hit and not get hit, and to make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters. You know, he's the king.
So, do you think you guys got a lot in common?
In some aspects, yeah. We do.
How are you guys different?
Both boxing. I think, you know, I take more chances. You know, right now. But earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. You talk about money, or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy fighter.
You're more like Pretty Boy, probably, right?
Right. But then, you know, he started having hand injuries, so he couldn't really keep up with the same, you know.
And the crazy part is Canelo suffers against that style. We saw it against Bivol in 2022 when Canelo couldn't cut the ring off. He got angry and started swinging wild. Bivol exposed that weakness, but Floyd mastered that approach. And now he's passing that knowledge down to
pound for pound. Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh shit, okay, I'm just asking. Floyd was pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight though.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
If anyone holds the blueprint to beating Canelo Alvarez, it's Floyd Mayweather, and let's be real, Terence Crawford couldn't have picked a better mentor for this mission. Floyd isn't just the only man to hand Canelo an official loss, he dominated him for 12 straight rounds back in 2013. Sure, Canelo was younger then. But those lessons? They still hold serious weight. Legendary trainer Ronnie Shields recently broke it down. If Crawford wants to dethrone Canelo, he's got to channel Floyd's strategy. Shields isn't sweating the weight difference, because boxing isn't just about brute strength. It's about IQ, footwork, and control. That's how Mayweather did it. He set the pace, landed clean, and got out before Canelo could respond. He never let him get comfortable, never let him find rhythm. And that's exactly what Crawford needs to do. Stay sharp. Stay moving. Never become a stationary target. Interview
running from Benavides. What is that? I mean, imagine if I ever ran from anybody. Like, did I run from somebody in my career? No. Did Chavez run from somebody in his career? No. Chavez was 87-0. Imagine that. So to me, that's the all-time greatest fighter.
Here's the wild part. Canelo Alvarez struggles against exactly the kind of style Terence Crawford brings to the ring. We saw it in 2022, when Dmitry Bivol gave Canelo a chess match instead of a brawl. When Canelo couldn't cut off the ring, he got frustrated and started throwing wild, desperate shots. Bivol didn't just beat him, he exposed the
fight with you and Terence Crawford. It would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. We, me and Tukarash know each other, and then we wanna see what happened.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp?
Huh?
When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
in camp. Training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March.
From the moment this fight was announced, Floyd Mayweather has been in Crawford's corner, guiding him, sharpening his tools, and pushing him to prepare for the biggest test of his career. And now that Floyd's seen how seriously Canelo is taking this, his message to Baad is crystal clear: there's no room for error. Because Canelo isn't just fighting to win, he's fighting to protect his legacy. Let's be honest, Canelo didn't just wake up one day and decide to take this fight. This was a calculated move. He knew that if he dodged Terence Crawford, the boxing world would never let him
have an error to himself. And if you put Terence Crawford against any opponent on Floyd's resume, who do you have favorite? Terence Crawford or one of Floyd's opponents?
Why does Ron keep mentioning?
No, I'm asking the question first. Do we got Terence Bud Crawford beating everybody on Floyd's resume?
So here's the real question. Who have you got? Terence Bud Crawford, or one of Floyd's toughest former opponents, and what's up with Ryan Garcia always name-dropping Floyd lately? Is it shade or strategy? But let's get real for a second. Could Crawford actually beat everyone on Mayweather's resume? Is Floyd really worried, or is Bud just too slick, too sharp, too cold to be shaken? Let us know what you think in the comments. We want to hear all your takes. And if you're hyped for this mega fight, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you never miss an update on the fight of the year.